Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the trading setup as well as what market strategies should you be following today. Well, let's start off with a recap of yesterday. The benchmark Nifty 50 index held above the 25,100 mark at the closing level. Of course, we inched higher at 25,141. We also did test 25,200 odd mark in the intraday session as of yesterday as well. But of course, this was largely supported by the IT index. We also saw oil and gas, metals, all of these sectors definitely supporting the sentiments. Although the broader markets were a tad weaker than we compare it with the frontline indices after days of having moved up. But the good part is that it was the sixth day running for the gains as far as the benchmark Nifty is concerned. And as far as the 25,000 mark is also concerned, it was the fourth consecutive session when we held on above that level as well. Let's start off with understanding how the markets really moved in overnight as well. Now, as far as the US stock markets are concerned, they ended lower on Wednesday, and this was amidst the Middle East tensions as investors awaited more details on China-US trade talks as well. Now, apart from this, remember that the Dow Jones Industrial Average ended absolutely flat in trade. We did see the Nasdaq down by about 0.5%, and the S&P 500 also declined by about 0.27% by the end of the session, although it maintained the 6,000 odd mark towards the end of the session as well. Now, what has really happened is that the US Treasury 10-year yield has lost about 5 basis points to 4.42%. What we've also seen is that the dollar index also slipped a tad bit at 98.45 now, down about 0.65 odd percent. In trade, what we also saw is that the Brent crude oil prices, that's going to be the talking point today, because there was a sharp spike of over 5% on Brent crude oil prices. That's above $70 a barrel yet again, and that's something that all of us really need to watch out for as to how will things shape up. Remember, this was in response to the US Embassy in Iraq also talking about how the Middle East tensions are absolutely surging at this point in time as well. What we'll also see is that the Asian markets also have started to trade mix in the morning trading session today, but we'll see how it goes from here for the Asian markets. GIFT Nifty is also indicating to a muted trend at this point in time. If you look at across the Asian markets, the China index is up by about 0.14%. We're seeing the Hang Seng and the Nikkei that's down 0.4 and 0.7% each. Kospi, however, is up by about 0.6%, and the GIFT Nifty is slightly higher right now at 25,233. So muted trend is what we are looking at for this one as well. Now, when we look at what's also happening and the cues that are coming in from the US is something that you really need to watch out for. President Donald Trump has said that he plans to send trading partners letters in the next 1 to 2 weeks, setting the universal tariff rates. Now, apart from that, we also are given to understand that President Trump has announced the US-China has reached a trade deal framework. Although the tariff rates are still unclear, we are not sure as to what kind of contours of the deal have been finalized there. Now, Donald Trump has also pointed out that China will be supplying the rare earths and magnets, and the US will be allowing Chinese students into the colleges and universities back there. Also, we will be looking at how things progress as far as both the Middle East as well as the tariff situation goes. The CPI inflation data, that's also another monitorable as far as the US is concerned. So, we are having a lot of cues that we will be looking at for the markets right now. We'll be waiting for our guest to join in on the program with us to help you understand the cues, but let me quickly read up some of the stocks that you can watch out for in trade today. Today, I'll be also looking at, of course, the foreign flows as something that we should watch out for. FIs have been net sellers in equity markets as of yesterday. 446 odd crore rupees of worth of funds is what they have sold off in the Indian equity markets yesterday. But DIIs have been consecutive buyers. 1584 odd crore rupees has poured in from the domestic institutional investors. We'll also keep an eye out on the FMCG stocks that are in focus. Remember, the government has reduced the basic customs duty on major imported crude edible oils from 20% to 10%. So the FMCG stocks will be in focus. We'll also look at Zydus Life. That's something that we should watch out for. Ankleshwar facility of the company has received an EIR report or a clearance from the US FDA. That's a positive. Inspection was done between March 10 and 14 of 2025. Sterlite Technologies and Dilip Buildcon, they will be in both focus because they both signed an MOU with BSNL for 2,631 odd crore rupees for a telecom project under BharatNet for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh telecom circles. So that's something that we'll be watching out for. MCX will be in focus because it's got the SEBI nod to launch electricity futures. We'll also look at the railway stocks like RailTel. It's received a work order from Southeastern Coalfields amounting to 11.9 odd crore rupees. That's something that we'll be keeping an eye out on. Let's also look at CE Info Systems. The block deal season is here and it's been on for a long time now, throughout of May and June as well. Today we will be looking at CE Info Systems. There is a report that suggests that PhonePe Private could be selling up to 5% equity at a floor price of 1750 rupees per share, and a block deal size could be to the tune of 476 odd crores. Just moments from now, we will start to get to see some details, if not entirely, in the session today. We'll also be looking at some of the other stocks that we could be watching out for in trade session today. We have brokerage houses updates from HSBC on the food delivery space that they have given. They're talking about how two-wheeler ride-sharing economics are similar to the food delivery space, posing a risk to the incumbents. They also talk about how execution, customer experience and scale remain barriers for the new entrants. Long-term growth and margin expectations for the FD sector is something that appear elevated at this point in time. Now, on asset management companies also, HSBC has come out with a report. They believe that the SIP flows are steady, but lump sum flows are weak at this point in time. They have seen an implied AUM growth in equity and hybrid funds, which is approximately 12%. Valuations are near previous cycle peaks, but AUM growth looks muted. Earnings may grow slowly. Cautious view maintained despite structural tailwinds. We'll also look at ITC, which is on the radar of Macquarie today. Macquarie has an outperform rating on this one with a target price of 500 rupees. They believe the traction in ITC's trade promotions and innovations will be countering Marlboro, and that should lower the volume growth gap and Godfrey Phillips in the next few quarters as well. Now, they also expect weakness in the margins to reverse across cigarettes as well as the FMCG in the second half. They've cut the EPS estimate by 2%. On real estate, Jefferies has come out with a report. Here it believes that the pre-sales growth for the covered developers is likely to rise by 5 percentage points year on year to 20% plus in FY26. They also believe the large project launches in first quarter definitely lend credibility to guidelines. They also believe the rate cuts are a relief and positively correlated with the developer valuations at this point in time. The three top stocks that they are betting big on is DLF, GPL as well as Lodha. So Godrej Properties, DLF and Macrotech Developers are the three stocks that they prefer from this list of stocks. Let's quickly look at how the pre-open is shaping up for the markets. 25,172 at this point in time is what you see. So a 30 point of an uptick is what we have on the Nifty. Let's also pull up the Nifty Bank to see how things are shaping up on that front as well. And we will of course be looking at a whole host of stocks within the heavyweight space, like the banking space. So we are looking at the Nifty Bank. This is a 1 week chart. Let's pull up today's price of Nifty Bank and see how this index is also shaping up right in the morning. And so right now it's not started to take, but let's look at the key stocks within the banking space. ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank, Kotak, these are the heavyweights that we should watch out for. 2 days in a row, we haven't seen support coming in from the banking space. They have largely been on the back foot. Let's see whether today is the day when they again come back on the expiry session today, the weekly expiry session that we have for the Nifty, and support the sentiment. So ICICI, HDFC, some minor gains can be seen on that front. Let's look at IT. From the last 2 days, it's also been the IT space that's in fact been kind of a front runner in the market moves that we've been seeing, both large caps as well as mid caps. So you can see mid caps like Coforge moving up. HCL Tech from the large cap pack is 1/4% higher in trade. That's something that we will be watching out for. Infosys about 0.5% higher. TCS, Wipro, all of them are also ticking higher in trade. Let's look at the FMCG giants today. Remember, because of the edible oil news, that's something that we have to really watch out for as to what are the key, impacts that we see across the board. So the government has reduced the basic custom duty on major imported crude edible oil from 20% to 10%. What kind of an impact could there be on Patanjali Foods, on Godrej Agrovet? We'll also see Adani, Wilmar, Agri, those are the spaces that actually primarily deal with the edible oil fronts, the companies. And therefore, we will be looking at how some of these stocks are also moving in tandem. Let's pull up some stocks there in case they have started to show us some ticks as far as the pre-open trade is concerned. Now, apart from that, let's also look at CE Info Systems. That's where the block deal is expected to take place, and therefore that will be important for us to also track and trade today. As to how the stock is moving. That's Map My India, CE Info Systems. That's what we are looking at. So 6.6% of a decline, amidst the block deal news that we actually see for the company as well. Let's also look at some of the key other aspects that we can track for the markets today. There are a whole host of news flows that we should be watching out for. There is a report, although unconfirmed by Business Today, but we could be looking at the Adani Group stocks as a whole, because the Adani Airport Holdings Limited, the company, may be raising about $1 billion in equity from international investors as it evaluates future growth plans and potential acquisitions. And this is as per Adani Group CFO Jugishinder Singh, that we are given to understand as per some of the reports that have been mentioned. Now, the company is evaluating growth plans and acquisitions. Interest has been shown by investors from US, Middle East, Australia is what they have also marked out for investors to really see. That's something that we will be looking at. In fact, a capex plan is also being discussed. So expansion spree is what the Adani Group could be stepping on, and that's what again is being in focus as of today. Let's go across to our guest now. We have Mr. Kunal V. Parar now joining in on the program with us on the show to help us understand his views on the show. He's the Vice President of Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking. Hi Kunal, welcome to you. Good to have you with us on the show. First up, if you could help us understand your view on the markets. It's the weekly expiry. So far it's been a good run, this week, and some gains that carried on from Friday. Your suggestion on how should one look at the markets?
Good morning. And if we talk about the market, yes, today is the weekly expiry, so volatility must be there. But since last 3 days, Nifty has been trading between the range of 25,200 to 25,000 level. No doubt, yesterday Nifty made a high of 25,222, but it gave a close at between the range of 25,200 to 25,000. So I'm not seeing any particular direction until and unless Nifty gives a breakout of this particular range. Even if we talk about option chain, then throughout the strike price in put side, it is showing solid position. Not only this, if we look at the call option, then out of the money, not only in this expiry, but if you talk about next expiry as well, we have been witnessing some solid position as well. So all this equation is suggesting for range bound momentum only. So I'm not seeing any particular momentum, but yes, today is the weekly expiry, so I'm hoping some kind of volatility in the index.
Okay, Kunal, help us understand what will your top stock ideas be for the day? What will you be really looking at? Yesterday, of course, there were so many pockets that moved up. It was the oil and gas story. It was the IT stocks that were doing very well in trade. Metals have been shining bright too. Which is the pocket that you're going to be selecting the stocks from today?
Well, two stocks are there which looks very attractive to me. First is GVK Pharma. Means if you talk about a daily chart, stock has been trading with its 50 days MA. Not only this, even stock has given a breakout of its range bound momentum. So one should get into the stock in GVK Pharma. Right now, it gave a close of 1717, and right now we will keep SL at 1680, and upper side first target comes at 1745, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1795. So JVK Pharma, one should get into the stock with strict stop loss of 1680. And second stop is, but obviously from its IT stock, IT sector is the Excel Tech, trading at 1725. If you talk about SL side, then downside we will keep SL at 1700. And if we talk about target wise, the first target comes at 1745, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1775. So from my side, it's a SL Tech and JBK Pharma.
Okay, let's look at some other key pockets as well. I want to ask you about the space that everybody will be watching out for today. FMCG stocks with the reduction in the customs duty as far as the imported edible oil is concerned. Are you looking at stocks like Patanjali or Adani Wilmar for that matter? These kind of stocks, do you think there could be an impact, and what exactly should be the strategy? And overall on the FMCG space, if you could also suggest, Kunal, what exactly is your view?
Let's talk on this stock first, Patanjali and Adani Wilmar. Right now, I'm not seeing any particular momentum in both of these stocks because Patanjali has been trading in downtrend only since last many days, and further downside would be there as per the ongoing structure. And if you talk about AWL, right now stock trading is at 280 level. If stocks sustain above 285, 290, then further upside would be there up to the level of 295 to more above it up to the level of 320. So one has to wait till AWL crosses its 285 level.
Hmm.
Now, from my side, ITC looks very attractive at this level. Since last 9 days, I have been observing the stocks.
Yes,
Right now,
that's
trading
right.
at 427. One should get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 420. Upper side first target comes at 435, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 450.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the FMCG stocks and the outlook there is concerned. Let's quickly look at how the markets are shaping up in the pre-open now that most part of the pre-open has settled. We have the Nifty. That's indicative of a flat with a positive bias start, 25,164. You can actually look at Dr. Reddy's, which seems to be opening higher with gains. HUL could be opening higher. So from the FMCG again, Tata Consumer Products also from the FMCG basket. IT stocks, Wipro could be in focus again. That could be opening up in the trade today. We'll also look at Reliance Industries after a 3-week high move yesterday. It could be carrying on with the momentum there too. Today again, oil and gas, FMCG, pharma, PSU banks, these are the pockets that could be holding up in trade. Right now in the pre-open, barring IT and private banks, all the sectors seem to be opening higher. Even the PSU banks just about 0.1% of gains. In the broadest index, we will be looking at a whole host of stocks like Sterling Technologies could be in focus. That's indicative of a strong start today. We could also be looking at names like HEC Infra Projects, Everest Industries is another one. We could also be looking at Simbhauli Sugars from the sugar space that could be opening higher. Golden Tobacco could be up in trade as well. So those are some Rolla Tainers as well. So all of these stocks that could be actually up and about in trade. Let's also look at some of the stocks within the kind of move that we are seeing on the downside. Today there could be some pressure on Paytm, TVS Electronics as far as the pre-open is concerned. GE Power could be showing us some profits taking. Fiber Web, we are looking at names within this basket that could be, which are the names, I'm just trying to figure out what are the names that I could probably mark out for all our viewers. Supreme Infra is another one that we could be looking at as well on the downside. So we are also seeing mixed trend as far as the markets are pointing out right now. Kunal, could you help us understand when it comes to the oil and gas story, crude oil prices again hitting $70 a barrel, how would you look at oil and gas?
Well, whenever there is a fall in crude oil, then I think OMCs will mostly be the likely profitable and preferable bets. And right now we talk about our IOC, HPCL, BPCL, all these stocks looks very attractive. Right now IOC is trading at 144, and it looks very attractive not only for trading perspective but for medium term to long term as well. Right now trading at 144, one should get into the stock at present level but the strict stop loss of 139. And if you talk about first target, then first target is 150. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 165. So IOC, but obviously looks very attractive. And if you talk about the HPCL as well, Hindustan Petroleum trading at 410. Now, the way stock has been trading, if any fall is there up to the level of 399, 398, I think that's the perfect level to get into the stock with strict stop loss of 380. And if you talk about target size, the first target comes at 422 to 430.
Okay, got that. So that's something that we will be also focusing on as well. Right now, the Nifty is settled at 25,164, 23 points higher in trade. We will be looking at how things shape up for the markets from here on as well. Remember, we've discussed Oil India, ONGC, both will be, in focus as oil has jumped 5% on the rising West Asia tensions. Brent at $70 a barrel. We'll also look at Zydus Life. US FDA has cleared an API unit. It's received an EIR. That stock could be in focus. We'll look at Dilip Buildcon. A JV has got an order worth 2,600 crores for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh from BSNL. Wadi Energies could be in focus. It's inked at PPA for 150 megawatt of a project and MP power project as well. Railtel has bagged an order that will be in focus. City Union Bank, the board has approved fundraise here. That could be in focus again. HG Infra could be in focus, declared a lowest bigger for 35-year project that has been coming in transmission project that coming in way of the company. That will be in focus as well. And we finally have the ticks as far as the markets are concerned. Starting on the back foot, 25,122 on the Nifty at this point in time. Let's also look at the Nifty Bank. That's also opening on the back foot in trade today. Both the Nifty and the Nifty Bank starting on the back foot today on a weaker side. About 20 odd points lower for the Nifty, about 33 points lower for the Nifty Bank is what we are given to understand. Pharma stocks are actually holding up in trade today. Oil and gas, FMCG, PSU banks, infra stocks. Rest all of the pocket has slipped. IT is also seeing some profits being taken off after yesterday's move, half odd percent lower. Realty, metals, autos are also lower in trade. Even the mid caps are opening with slight losses in the trade today as well. We will now look at the kind of advances and declines ratio is concerned. 1237 advances to 387 declines. So the market mood is still towards the positives despite the weakness in the frontline indices and many of the sectors that we are seeing in trade today. Now we are also seeing it's a volatile start to say the least. If you look at the India VIX, that's climbed 1.8%. So again, the volatility index is indicated to a fear that's getting induced yet again into the markets right now. Kunal, any suggestion as far as the opening is concerned? What will you go with?
Well, Nifty has opened with minor, loss of 7 points only, trading at 25,138. Now, again, as I suggested, Nifty is trading between the range of 25,200 to 25,000, and I'm not seeing any clear direction until and unless it gives a breakout of this particular range. So let's wait for the time being. And for intraday trade, I think one should wait till 9:45. Then only we will get a clear direction from the Nifty itself.
Absolutely. IT stocks, Infosys, TCS, they are the ones that are actually down in trade on the Nifty. The top losers are made of at least four of the top losers on the five stocks on the Nifty are from the IT pack. Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech. Even Eternal is down slightly in trade. That's Zomato. You're also looking at Tata Motors, Coal India down in trade. FNO space, you have Oil India that's up. Asian Paints, that's up. Again, remember the crude derivative stocks will be in focus. Kunal, could you talk about Asian Paints and the paint stocks here? Do you think this is going to be in focus because of the crude oil prices again surging?
Well, if you talk about Asian Paint, right now trading at 2,258 level, and I think this is a perfect stock to get into the stock for medium term to long term, trading at 2,258. Recently, it has come out of its oversold zone, and not only this, stock has a multiple support at 2,200. So one should get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 2,200. If we talk about upper side, then first target comes at 2,360, and afterwards, even it may march towards the level of 2,455. So yes, risk reward is in favor for creating long position in Asian Paints.
Okay. CE Infosystems, that's Map My India. Viewers, keep a note of that. 7% down. This is after a 5.3% equity has exchanged hands there. So keep an eye out on that one. Again, the block deals that continue to impact the stocks there. Let's pull up the broadest index, the Nifty 500 stocks, to see where the momentum is. Simbhauli Sugar is up, something that we were marking in pre-open. Tanla platforms, that's up in trade, almost 9% higher. But BSE is down 2.3%. Remember, it was 4% down yesterday, another 2% down in trade today. That's also something that we'll look at our viewers to be understood at, like we'll understand from Kunal there. Tilak Nagar Industries is up after yesterday's sharp fall. It's improving in trade today. We are also looking at several other pockets, but let's discuss these stocks first. First up is BSE for you, Kunal, from the capital market space. 9 straight sessions of an improvement that we saw on BSE. After the bonus split was announced, and therefore the company and the stock was placed in ASM category, and that was additional surveillance measures that will lead to 100% upfront margin cost for the buyers. Apart from this, this is also why, because a volume spike was seen, a volume above 1 crore on an average 4 to 5 sessions from the 9 sessions of a straight upward rally that we saw, and that was the leading cause of the decline. Kunal, a lot of people were surprised with this strong one-way rally on BSE right after the bonus split. How would you look at BSE now after the 2 days of a dip that we have been seeing? Would you use this as an opportunity to build on the stock, or would you just wait for fair valuations to come in?
Well, definitely I'll wait for fair value. Right now, trading at 2797. Euphoria was there based on the NSE unlisted stock, and NSE got its approval from the SEBI, so even that fueled the rally in BSEs. Right now, trading at 2000 down by 3%. Further downside would be there up to the level of 2532. Not only this, stock has been trading in an overbought zone, so but obviously, one has to expect some profit booking from its top level. Not only this, during yesterday's trading session, it form bearish reversal formation. So all the equations are suggesting some kind of profit booking from its top level. So if stock falls up to the level of 2500, then only it would become a good buying opportunities. Until one should wait and avoid the stock.
Okay, one more stock that I want to mark out for our viewers is from the digital story, and that is Paytm, something that I was indicating even in the pre-open trade. There is a sharp downtick as far as Paytm or 197 shares are concerned. 8.8% down, 876 is the current level. What could be the reason for this? What I'm given to understand is that I'm reading some reports that are indicating that the Finance Ministry for now has dismissed reports about the possible introduction of a merchant discount rate, which is a fee paid by merchants to the banks or payment service providers every time a customer makes a digital payment, like with a debit card or a UPI or a credit card on the transactions. That's as per some statements that are coming in. The delay or the non-introduction of MDR is sentimentally negative for Paytm, is what UBS as a brokerage firm has written in its note as well. So that's an update that we have from the UBS report. What exactly would you really see on Paytm right now? The stock was doing fairly well in the first half of the calendar year. It picked up pace as well. Any suggestion on what should be done now?
Yes, but obviously, I think some news is there related to UPI, Google Pay, Phone Pay, and Paytm, and that's the only reason why we have witnessed some kind of downside momentum. I think a few steps have been taken by National Payment Bank, and because of which we have been witnessing some kind of downside momentum, down by 8%. Further downside would be there up to the level of 815, 820, and if stock approaches this level, then only it would become a good buying opportunity. Till then, one should avoid this stock, and I think anyone has created a position on the top level. Nothing to worry about this counter. It's a timing correction only. If stock comes at 820, then again it may become a good buying opportunities for fresh as well as for average. So wait for the timing for the level of 820.
Okay, fair point. So that's as far as Paytm is concerned. Pharma stocks are probably the ones that where the concentration of gains is right now. Is the top moving sector. Names like Ajanta Pharma, Natco, Zydus Life, Divi's, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Mankind, they're all up and about. How are you looking at this fresh move in the pharma pack? Kunal, do you think this will be sustainable, and what are your top picks here?
Well, if it about pharma side, means overall we have been witnessing some good upside momentum in the pharma overall. Ajanta Pharma, Sun Pharma, Natco Pharma, all these stocks are trading at a very good level. Even we suggested JBK Pharma, it's up by 1%. Now, from today's fresh move, if you talk about a few pharmas, then Sun Pharma looks very attractive. Right now, trading at 1720 level, one should get into the stock because the stock is trying to give a breakout of its 1705 level. If stock sustain above this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1760, and afterwards, even it may march toward the level of 1840. So, this is the perfect level to get into the stock with strict stop loss of 1680.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped all our viewers just get a point of view there on the ideas as far as the pharma space is concerned. Let's also pull up some of the other pockets. PSU stocks, let's look at some railway related stocks. Are you watching this space closely, Kunal, for finding out the next big idea that could come in, and could it come from this space?
Well, if you talk about railway counter, we have been witnessing a very good upside momentum in these counters, and Ircon, IRFC, Railtel, all these stocks have performed very well in the recent days. But since last few days, all these stocks have been trading in a range bound momentum only, and I'm not seeing any clear direction as of now for trading perspective. But if stock falls from the present level, if stock falls somewhere around 5 to 6% from its top level, then it would become a good buying opportunities in all the stocks, because all the stocks have strong support at a lower level, and the way present government is working, particularly railway sides and defense side, I think both these sectors will boom in near term. So, but obviously, as of now, I'm not seeing any spark or any current in these counters. But for long term, yeah, it's a perfect bet to go for creating a long portfolio.
Okay, got that. I'll just point out this entire news point again for our viewers to see, because the stock reaction has been pretty strong. Sterlite Technologies, it's almost what, 12.5% higher. Remember, both Sterlite Technologies and Dilip Bilkon together signed an MOU with BSNL for a 2631 odd crore rupees telecom project under BharatNet for Jammu and Kashmir and for Ladakh telecom circles. That's what we marked out for you in the news to watch and the stocks to watch list. And Sterlite is up almost what, 12 odd percent after that news flow that has come in. Do you track Sterlite Technologies at all, Kunal? After a long haul, this stock has become visible because of this news flow. Do you think after today's move also there will be some more upside?
Well, yes, definitely stock is up by 12% and further upside would be there. But however, one concern is there. Stock made a high of 88.68, and exactly where stock faced strong resistance in April and before March. So stock has to sustain above 89 for further upside momentum. If stock sustain above 89, then further upside would be there up to the level of 103 and then 110. So no doubt,
ठीक है.
clear cut downside momentum would be there if stock sustain above 89.
Okay. Kunal, we'll again focus on the Adani stocks. You did talk about AWL, I remember, in the edible oil news, but I want to understand your view on the entire space of Adani Group. Why am I bringing this again up? I'll reiterate for all our viewers who have just joined on the program that there are reports that indicate that Adani Group is planning the airport units IPO by 2027. It's also hastening the process of $100 billion capex that was on agenda as far as the Adani Group is concerned. Currently, the Adani Airports division is owned by the flagship company Adani Enterprises, which is a listed entity. Now, this firm operates 8 airports and now will also be opening a new terminal in the outskirts of Mumbai in a few months' time. Now, what we are given to understand is that billionaire Gautam Adani is gearing up to list its airports unit in the next 2 years by 2027 as part of the ambitious growth plan that entails this $100 billion of a capex that will be looked at. Now, of course, on the Adani Group stock, so far the investors are just toggling with the idea whether these companies are at fair valuation. There has been so much of a past that is ingrained in investors' brains at this point in time, which is making things difficult for them. Also, in the last 6 months or so, the stocks have not shown any remarkable up move as well. Be it the frontline stocks, Adani Enterprises or ports for that matter, there has been a 17% rally in the last 6 months odd, although for Adani ports, and just about a 3% move on the Adani Enterprises front in the last 6 months. So it hasn't moved that much. How would you look at this space as of now? And for the flagship company, do you think investors must keep an eye out on that one again, keeping in mind that its subsidiary will be listed in about 2 to 3 years from now?
Well, if you talk about Adani Enterprise, Adani Port, both these stocks have been trading in a range bound momentum only. I am not seeing any spark as of now in this counter, but obviously the way Adani is growing his portfolio, particularly in the airport side, I think spark would be there, in long term. And as you said that even it may list their airport company as well. So Adani Enterprise would be the flagship, and Adani Enterprise would be the one whom from where this demerger will take place. So one has to focus on this Adani Enterprise right now trading at 2595 level, and stock has already given a breakout. But I'm not suggesting to get into the stock for trading perspective, but if anybody want to invest in this counter for medium term to long term, then this is a perfect level because stock has already created its bottom, and we may see some good upside momentum up to the level of 2780, and afterwards even it may march towards the level of 3100. So yes, for medium term to long term, I think this is the perfect level to get into the stock with strict stop loss of 2400. And if you talk about, yes, one stock is the Adani Port, because I think based on this news, even we may see some spark in Adani Port as well. Right now trading at 1463 level. Stock has been trading above its 100-day, 200 days moving average, has been trading in an upward rising channel formation only. So this is the perfect level for medium term portfolio creation. One should get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at 1350. And if you talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 1600, and if stock breaks this level, then sky has no limit side type of momentum would be there in the Adani ports.
He got that. So that's the view that's coming in as far as the Adani Group is concerned. Let's also pull up some of the other spaces that are now picking up some pace. It's the first 15 minutes of the candle has already been formed, and you are seeing some pickup happen. Financial services are now looking up. Bajaj Finserv, Muthoot Finance, HDFC Life, Bajaj Finance, SBI Life. So life insurance names and NBFCs at large are also coming back in focus. Anything from this basket that ticks your attention right now?
Well, from this financial service, I think life insurance companies looks very attractive, particularly HDFC Life and then SBI Life. I have been like keeping an eye on these stocks since last many days. And if you talk about HDFC Life, right now trading at 768 level, is trying to give a breakout of its range bound momentum in which it was trading since last many days. Okay, so one should get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 744. If you talk about target size, then first target. If you talk about target size, then first target comes at 790, and even afterwards it may march toward the level of 816. So HDFC Life looks very attractive, and yes, let's talk on the SBI Life. Right now stock is trading at 1800 at, I think, perfect time to get into the stock with strict stop loss of 1750. If you talk about upper side target, the way stock has been trading, I think further upside would be there up to the level of 1840, and even afterwards stock march towards the level of 1900. So HDFC Life, SBI Life both looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped our viewers take in some view from the NBFC life insurance names. Let's look at the food delivery movers. Swiggy is up by 2% today, even though Eternal is on the back foot today. Between the two, where do you find technical charts stronger between Swiggy and Zomato, Kunal?
Well, in among these two stocks, I think Swiggy looks very attractive right now. No, let's talk on first Eternal Zomato trading at 254. Further downside would be there up to the level of 240, and if stocks fall up to the level of 240, then it would become a good buying opportunities. Till then, one should avoid this stock. And let's talk about the Swiggy right now. You know the way stock has been trading on its daily chart at 363, stock has already given a breakout of its range bound momentum, and I think from present level we may see some good upside momentum. One should get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 350. Upper side first target comes at 356, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 410. So from both of these stocks, I think Swiggy looks very attractive.
Okay, got that. Let's take another view then from Kunal on the stocks that are in focus again. Tanla platforms, that's the one that's soaring today. A very, very strong surge. Now almost 12% higher in trade for Tanla platforms. A long haul after which Tanla platforms is showing us such a tremendous move. If we look at the last 1 month, the stock has actually moved up about 40 odd percent. So slow and gradual moves have already been picking up from 494 seen on May 12 to all the way up to now, which we are sitting on 12th of June right now, and you can see a 40% surge that has already come in the last 3 months. There's been a 65% rally on Tanla platforms. Will we risk an entry at this point in time after a substantial up move, or do you think the rally has just about begun, Kunal, for Tanla?
Well, rally has just begun because stock has given a breakout of its momentum. It's up by 12%, has given a breakout of its range of movement. Not only this, it has created runway gap, breakout gap. So further upside would be there, and but obviously news is there related to the share buyback. So it will give more fuel for upside for further upside rally in the counter. If you talk about upper level, then stock may march towards the level of 780, and afterwards even may march towards the level of 840. So if anybody has this stock in their portfolio, please hold this stock. No fresh recommendation for our side.
Okay, got that. Picking up some other stocks as well. Let's look at the winners in the consumer durable space today. You have PG, Electroplast, Dixon after a long haul. Titan is up in trade. Whirlpool, Blue Star. These are all the stocks that are coming back in focus. But is it still a far-fetched dream to see a sustainable rally here, Kunal?
If you talk about other stocks like which you talk like Havells, Titans, and all,
Yeah.
I think two to three stocks are there which looks very attractive, and but obviously these stocks are like a perfect candidate for creating long-term portfolio. Right now trading at 1581 Havells. It has just created its bottom and right now trying to come out of its bottom. One should get into this stock at present level, not only for trading perspective, but creating long-term portfolio as well. Trading at 1518 level, 80 level, if you talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 1670, and afterwards even it may march towards the level of 1770. So this is the perfect candidate for creating long-term portfolio. Now let's talk on the Titan and Crompton Greaves and other stocks. Right now Titan is trading at 3551. Again, if one should get into the stock for trading perspective as well, this stock looks very attractive. Right now trading at 3550. Downside support comes at 3500, and if you talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 3580, and even afterwards even it may march towards the level of 3600. So for trading perspective, Titan looks very attractive, but for long term perspective, one should get into the stock for an upside target up to the level of 3900, and more above it up to the level of 4200. So both these stocks looks very attractive on daily chart for creating a long term portfolio.
Got that. We'll go back to Tanla platforms yet again. The news flow which is pulling the stock higher is something that I want to share with all our viewers today. Shares of Tanla platforms have been up today because the company is saying that the board of directors will now meet next week to consider a proposal for buyback of equity shares for the firm. Remember, this will be the third instance of Tanla platforms considering a buyback of equity shares in the last 5 years. Two of the previous ones were done in 2020 and in 2022. Now, back in 2020, Tanla had carried out a share buyback worth 154 crores, repurchasing the shares at 1200 levels. And 2 years later, buyback size was increased to 170 crores, where again the price remained same, 1200 rupees per piece. Right now, if you look at the stock, it's under 700 rupees right now. The share price is trading 48% below the previous buyback price that we had already seen for the company. And remember, as far as the earnings go, companies had reported a 10% decline in its fourth quarter profit. Revenue, however, had increased by about 2%. Margins remained stable. Now, we will have to see what is the announcement that is given on the price, when the buyback will happen, and therefore you actually see the strong move on the stock right now. Okay, Kunal, anything else that catches your attention, something that I may have missed asking you?
Well, yes, I think one should focus on no doubt we have already talked on the Asian Paints and pharma and all, but I think one stock is there which looks very attractive on a daily chart. It's Apollo Hospital. You know, if you pull out the chart of Apollo Hospital, I think the way stock has been trading on its daily chart for the upside would be in the counter. Right now, stock is trying to give a breakout of its recent top, which is placed at 6,980 level, trading at 7,020 level, and for the upside would be that the way stock has been trading. I think the stock at current level with strict stop loss of 6,850 level, and if you got upper side target and first target comes at 7,120, and if stock breaks this level, then even further upside would be there up to the level of 7,300. So Apollo Hospital looks very attractive, and not only this, I think even one should keep an eye on Bajaj Finserv as well. Right now trading at 2038 level. We will keep SL at 1980. And if you talk about target size, and first target comes at 2080, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2150. So both this stock, Apollo Hospital and Bajaj Finserv, looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay, got that. Let's take another one as well. This one is from, I want to understand as far as the stocks within, the banking space is concerned. Between the private and the PSU banks, Kunal, what are you looking at? Remember, a few weeks ago we were discussing that yes, PSU banks have also started to move up. Is this the time to look at that? What's the fresh take on both the private sector as well as the PSU stocks?
Well, let's first talk on the private banks. If you talk about HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, Axis Bank, and all these stocks have been trading in a range bound momentum only, and I am not seeing any spark for trading a short-term perspective, because we have already been witness a very good upside momentum in last 3 to 4 months. Now, for trading perspective or for position perspective, I think one should avoid the private banks. But yes, simultaneously, if you talk about PSU banks, then 1 to 2 banks are there which looks very attractive, and one bank is that Bank of Baroda, trading at the 243 level. If we talk about daily chart, stock has been trading above its 50 days moving average. Not only this, recently stock has given a breakout of its flag formation as well. Right now trading at 243. One should get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 236. If we talk about first target, and first target comes at 250, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 258. And but obviously, one shouldn't forget SBI. The way the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, right now trading at 813 level, above its 1500 MA, and trading in its upper rising channel formation. One should get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL in downside. We will keep SL at 790, and if you talk about target size, the first target comes at 830, and if this stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 860. So one should avoid the private banks, whereas one should keep an eye on PSU banks, and from PSU banks, I think SBI and Bank of Baroda looks very attractive.
Okay, got that. So that's the view that we have. Let's look at some of the other pockets as well that we can track for, Kunal to really give us his view on right now. We have some more stocks that are pulling up in the broadest index. You have LG Equipments, you have names like Suvain Life Sciences now. That's also on the move. Then we have, of course, Tanla, we have discussed, Sterlite, we have discussed. Some of these stocks are actually moving up strong in trade today. ILNFS Transport Networks, it's a penny stocks that is moving up in trade. Let's look at the Nifty next 50 names. What's moving here? Divi's Labs, Torrent Pharma. Again, the pharma story that we have been discussing. Hyundai is up. Any suggestion on Hyundai that you would have from the auto pack, Kunal?
Well, but obviously, right now trading at 1954, since after getting listed on the main bourse, stock has been trading in a range bound momentum only. During the listing day, it made a high of 1970, and right now stock is facing strong resistance of that high only. If stock sustain above this level 1970, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2100 to 2200. So as of now, one should avoid this stock. But yes, this stock should be there in your watch list. If stock sustain above 1970, then further march toward the level of 2200 would be there.
Okay, Kunal. First half an hour of the trade is out, and we can see a 32-point decline right now. 25,100 although remains. Remember, 6 days of gains is what we've already seen on the D Street. We'll have to see whether today is a day when we actually close either muted or give up any kind of that momentum, snap that rally that we have been seeing. But on the whole, for the June series, any suggestion for our viewers, Kunal?
Well, for June series, I think no clear direction from this segment wise index or index wise. But yes, I think one should focus on the pharma stocks on this June series because rollover was on above average level, and all these stocks have been trading on a very good level above 50 and 100 ms. And recently, this all these stocks, pharma stocks and pharma sectors have given a breakout of its recent top. So in this June series, I think pharma sector may outperform other sectors as well. So one should keep an eye on pharma stocks, pharma sectors.
Okay, got that. Thank you so much, Kunal, for being with us on the show today, guiding all our viewers through the market strategies and the stock ideas that you've shared with all of them as well. Hope you have a fantastic time. We'll see you soon. All right, viewers, we'll start wrapping up the markets. But before that, we should also be listening to Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, who's been talking about how the Indian stock markets have rewarded well to the investors over the last 11 years. Remember, we've been celebrating and talking about 11 years of Prime Minister Modi. And in that, we are seeing the government officials, the ministers of his government are talking about the achievements that, various industries, sectors have seen, the economy has seen, and now he's also talking about how markets have also given multifold returns to investors. Let's listen in.
The Indian stock market has grown by about 4.5x in the last 11 years. And as I said earlier in the day today in one of our engagements, the stock market generally doesn't value the past. It's more forward-looking and discounts the future. And today, amongst all the investment opportunities available anywhere in the world, I dare say a market of 1.4 billion aspirational Indians can beat any other opportunity. A growth story of the world's 5th largest economy today, expected to become the 3rd largest 2.5 years from now. A country aspiring to grow from a $4 trillion to a $35 trillion economy in the next 22 years, with a clear vision, a roadmap, how to get there, focusing on inclusive growth, respecting sustainability at the core of our growth story. We are well poised to not only meet the needs of our 1.4 billion people, but we believe we can contribute significantly to the growth story of Europe, to the growth story of Sweden, and work for the shared prosperity of your people as much as.
All right, that was Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal talking about the Indian growth story in the stock markets. But right now, when we look at the markets, 25,091. So we've tested 25,100 on the downside, viewers. 50 points lower in trade. We are losing some momentum there. Let me just quickly pull up for all of you to see index contributors on the weakening side. You have Infosys, ITC, M&M, HCL Tech, TCS, Tata Motors. So IT and auto are the top drags as far as the contribution on the downside is concerned. Pharma is the one that's pulling up. You have Sun Pharma that's up in trade. Bharti Airtel, Asian Paints, ONGC, the crude oil stocks, Asian Paints also because of the block deal that has taken place. 2% higher in trade because of that as well. On the sectoral front, only pharma and media stocks, financial services, these are the ones that hold up. IT is the top loser. Real estate, oil and gas, auto also top drags. 13.7 as far as the India VIX levels are concerned. Top movers, Asian Paints, ONGC, Sun Pharma, Apollo Hospitals. On the downside, you have Infosys, Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech and Tata Motors as the top drags at this point in time. We'll leave you at that on the show today, but do stay tuned throughout the course of the session. We will help you understand the market moves, top market experts guiding you through all your stock queries at 12 noon on daily calls as well. I'll be back for that too. And of course, during the course of the session, you can keep checking on how the markets are moving. Stay tuned. Why is China's monopoly of rare earth minerals spooking the world? What are rare earth minerals?